Wrestling Talk now presents Big Red, JLB, Kid Crazy.
Welcome everybody to a special rundown of Full Gear. I am Big Red with JLB and the crazy one, Kid Crazy. How are we today, people?
Peace, everybody.
So he's saying bye already, folks. Hi and
Bye.
bye. That's what he's doing.
And that's our episode.
Not peace out, just peace.
Peace,
All right.
love, and everything else. Good, man. Good. What a pay-per-view. What
Wow.
What a good pay-per-view. I didn't watch everything on the first day. I found it was hard for me to last that 4.5 hours.
Yeah, it was a lot for sure. I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, it was definitely long, but I think the pacing wasn't that bad. You know, they did it knowing that it was going to be 4 hours long. They did it in a way that it didn't massacre the person watching too much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys agree with that.
I don't know. Like, I think that's it. I think more of the placement was still kind of messed up, technically.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, because that's what he's referring to. He said the pacing wasn't that bad, but I think that maybe they could have placed certain other matches differently where it wouldn't have, because I felt overwhelmed. That was my whole thing. I felt a little bit overwhelmed. Now, this is not to say that it was a bad pay-per-view or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I know we're going with like the negative, if you will, first. It's just
bad and ugly.
Sorry?
We're talking about ugly.
No, that's fair. So, no, it's just, I don't know. I feel like the placement could have been done maybe a bit different. Like the matches with a lot of players in them generally were like together, I think, for the most part. I don't know. I think it's just the amount of matches too. 9 matches.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, but no buy-in. Yeah, but for the pay-per-view, 9 matches
is a lot.
Yeah, is a lot. Like, I don't know, it's a lot. I had to rewatch it the next day, some of it, and even while trying to rewatch it, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is long. You know?
Yeah, I saw it a second time, and obviously the second time I had to fast forward some spots because I didn't have 4 hours again to put back into to invest into watching this. And I think started off, we had talked to this about this in the previous podcast, that I think the best match to start off was the Dallin against MGF match, but I think they set the bar really high for the rest of the pay-per-view also.
Too high. In my opinion, it was too high.
Yeah, no, great way to start. Great match. I don't know. The match is up there for sure. I guess, yeah, Big Red would be right about that. They set it maybe a bit too high. I don't know. Like, there was a lot of it. Everything else was decent. It was good. Like, not decent, but it was great. Some of the other matches too, you know, like I thoroughly enjoyed the tag match, FTR and Lucha Brothers. I enjoyed the Jurassic Express and Super Click. That was fun. That was Spot Fest craziness. Just even though I watched it a second time, I'm still kind of flustered.
No,
because everything intertwines in together for me. It's really messed up. I feel like I have to maybe watch 1 match a day or something, or 2 matches a day, and then so I can really, yeah. It was just a little bit overwhelming. But I remember I thoroughly enjoyed the CM Punk Eddie Kingston. Mm-hmm. I think it made Eddie Kingston look even more of a badass now. I thought that was a fun time. The Spot Fest crazy with freaking Jurassic Express shooting the shooting star off the ramp. Wild. A lot of a lot of greatness, and of course, Hangman Page,
Yeah.
AEW champion. I still kind of wish they put the Swerve, but given with what we know about Omega and the fact that he was playing injured, he couldn't lift his shoulder up really a lot. At least he's gonna get a well-deserved break now because, yeah.
Do you think if they would have went with the Swerve, that fans would have went with it?
But that's the thing, because now,
after 2 years of long-term booking, like they say, preparing us for this period, and they don't give it, I don't know. I would have been okay with it because I'm a purist, but I think a lot of people would have been very, very upset that that moment was taken away from them. At least I think so.
Yes, but at the same time, that the next AEW Dynamite, it's at the homecoming of Adam Page.
And that's going to be some cowboy shit, yeah.
So either you're going to make him win it on a pay-per-view, or you're going to make him wait a week more, and you get it at home.
Yeah, the homecoming was a big. I think Tony Khan actually planned this. This was his plan.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think he even mentions it a bit in the press conference following the pay-per-view, that this was the plan all along. That's why he was the challenger to Chris Jericho for the first title, for the first winner, first champion. Mm-hmm. And then 2 years to build this. He win it at the pay-per-view, and the next Dynamite is in his hometown. Mm-hmm. I think this is that's why people give the props to Tony Khan, because I think I could finally say with assurance that Tony Khan knows what he's doing.
What, besides the whole match, which I love the whole match, what intrigued me the most was the nod that Matt gave Page. That made the match even more like, I have to watch Dynamite.
That was like the sign of approval, from
So does that mean
Young Bucks.
Does that mean that Kenny's out of the elite? And
I think that just means they're out of the elite technically, and they're gonna go with
super quick
sort of ordeal. So it'll just be
what
like,
the hell were they wearing?
Whatever. I'm used to it.
No, that.
I'm used to their randomness. So
had a bit of a Bret Hart feel to it.
I enjoyed what Cole was wearing, but that pink beards and tights.
Yeah. Nick was a bit overdue.
That was a bit of Shawn Michaels vintage.
That's it. Now that he's heel, especially, they can go crazy on how they look. Seth Rollins could do it. Why can't the Young Bucks? Damn it!
Now that Kenny's going to be out for a while to recoup from his injuries, is there a possibility Young Bucks turn face and team up with Page in a different kind of elite, but a babyface elite, and Adam Cole goes back with Bobby Fish and whoever and stays heel? Is that a possibility?
I think Cole is going to stay with the Bucks for a really long while.
Okay.
That's why I think.
Well, no. That's what happened, though, guys. Like, I think Bucks are going with Page. They're going to form their own little thing, because originally that was part of the storyline, right? The whole reason why Page lost confidence in himself was because the Young Bucks didn't help him out and they turned on him, sort of ordeal. So it comes full circle.
And they actually teased that when the Page went to go talk to the Young Bucks to tell them not to interfere.
Exactly.
They did like a kind of a segment where you saw all this when the friction between the Young Bucks, that nobody believed in him. Right. So I think there's a pathway to that booking of a face turn. Sorry.
That was before Cole was in the picture, though. I don't think they're gonna put Cole on the side.
I don't know. I think
Cole could do his own thing, though. Yeah,
exactly.
Cole could just do his own thing. He doesn't need to necessarily be part of the Super Clique. Maybe he'll just keep doing stuff with Kenny. Maybe him and Kenny. Well, Kenny's out of the picture anyways. So for now, Kenny doesn't have to whatever. And then he'll kind of just be on his own. He'll take care of. Is there anyone else there? No, right? That's it. So
and don't forget that
on his own. Elite is
Kyle,
over.
Yeah, I completely agree with JLB there, because don't forget that Kyle O'Reilly's contract is up in a few weeks. I wouldn't be surprised of seeing a trio tag team of Bobby Fish, Adam Cole, maybe not as a faction and Kyle O'Reilly, but maybe in a little rivalry with the Young Bucks and Page or whatever. I can see that
Undisputed Era, like version 2.0 or something, you know? So,
I don't think that would hurt Adam Cole. I don't think that would hurt him.
Oh, well, Lottie, yeah. Lunch break at work, so
I think he means whore and not white.
Yeah, that's valid.
There we go. There we go.
Thank you, good sir. Checking in during your lunchtime.
Well, I guess we have to watch Wednesdays and find out.
Well, I don't think they might expose it right away.
No,
but I think knowing Tony Khan and the way he's booked stuff, I think we might start seeing hints and teases of this.
Right.
But nothing concrete right away on Wednesday. I think they'll take time to build this.
Yeah.
That's
which they're good at.
Who can be?
Well, I mean, look, guys. Everyone's saying 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. Keep in mind, this wasn't something that they were probably thinking of doing for 2 years. You had the pandemic that happened and all that. So it might have not have been a 2-year thing. It maybe might have been like a 6 to 8 month thing, and then pandemic, and then no, we can't do this now. We need fans. Yada 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 yada. So I don't want to. We weren't on the edge of our seats for 2 years. They took us off of it technically during the pandemic, and then they brought us back afterwards. They basically continued where they left off before the pandemic started. That's what that kind of was. So yes, well planned, but don't give me this bullshit that it's a 2-year storyline. For a good year of it, there was no storyline. There was not much. There was little gems here and there, but
I think that
it was
tag
well
team,
done. Well
think
done.
that
I'm not saying that.
I think that them being part of being tag team champions and being together for that tag team championship run, I think that's part of the storyline, though. Also,
yes,
Right.
but they only kind of continued that. When did they do that, though? They did that technically.
Well, it was a bit before and a bit after the start of the pandemic. It overlapped.
That's what I mean, though. So it kind of overlapped a bit. And then after that, they kind of stopped. And then they didn't know what to do with Paige for a hot minute. Yes, they did. Okay, maybe I should shut up. Maybe they kind of planned it nicely during into the pandemic kind of thing, but they just slowed it down a bit, right?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. That they weren't. This is not a storyline they were looking at and putting into effect every week.
Right.
This definitely they didn't do that, but it was always there in the background, lingering. You know.
Right.
Maybe what
for sure.
Maybe what changed a bit was the parental leave. What do they call when he had a kid? Parental leave. So maybe that was a bit outside of what they were planning.
Right, of course.
But it ended up working well because
that long either.
Yeah, it wasn't that long either. So. And he came back and he won the ladder match for the title shot. So
and now we're gonna have Paige and Bryan.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. Who do you guys see as the next? So two faces. I know AEW doesn't really look at the face heel stuff, but you think that would be a good rivalry? Two huge baby faces like that?
I think so.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match either way. And even at the post media scrum, they had mentioned. I think that was one of the questions one of the journalists had asked, and I think it was either Tony Khan or Bryan. I think it was more so Tony Khan who had mentioned, hey, like at the end of the day, I think we're kind of telling you a good story within the wrestling ring sort of ordeal. We're not too focused on baby heel, baby face heel kind of thing. We play into that, but at the end of the day, if we can book our storyline within the ring with the wrestling, then we've done our jobs. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know exactly the verbatim words, but it makes sense. So at the end of the day, we're gonna all want to see this as wrestling fans because they'll create a story for us in the ring, and we both love both of them in terms of
Oh, yeah.
we would want to see them both win and we would want to see them both lose, kind of thing. So either way, we'll be happy.
And I have confidence. I have confidence in TK that he will book this the right way. He hasn't done anything to prove me otherwise. So
I just hope
Right.
Page has a long reign.
Yeah, with that said, I think Paige is winning though. I don't think he's losing
I
to
just
Brian.
don't want.
yeah,
I don't want Page to lose his first title defense.
Right.
No, that wouldn't be good for business.
Don't Sasha Banks them, like
Yeah.
Did you guys like the Brian Miro match? I found the Miro Brian match is the match that made you drain. I didn't like it at all.
And it's not that it was a bad match. I liked the match. I like the contrast in styles. I think it might have went on just a tidbit too long. And at some points, I don't know if you guys had that same feeling, but I had a feeling at some points I was scared for Daniel Bryant because some of those Miro shots look stiff, and sometimes I was thinking about his concussion and neck problems. But the match itself, other than the Inner Circle match, I think that was it was still a good match, but I think it was the one I least liked during the night.
I felt that Brian was trying to go forward, and then Miro was holding him down. It was like.
Yeah.
I think it made Miro look awesome in that match, though. So I just wasn't. If anything, this helped Miro 100%.
Yeah, I agree. 110%.
I think it made Miro look like a monster. Him kind of like passing out. Him doing that. I remember he did some kind of like power bomb thing. I don't know what I think he had him in a triangle. Then he picked him up.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah. I think it made Miro look awesome. This is one of the matches I do have to rewatch though, because at the time I just wasn't into it. It came into a point where I watched it, it was there, but I just wasn't involved. I was drained of overwhelmingness. I don't know. I was just
that had to do with the matches that came before that also to put them in a bad
exactly
position.
I honestly think starting with the MJF kind of fucked everyone over. Just me over, because
I don't know if you guys
was fire.
I don't know if you guys recognized or saw or whatever, but there's a section of the Darby and MJF match that they took from Eddie versus Mysterio on Halloween Havoc 96.
Question for you: did you actually know that, or did you see that on Twitter?
I knew that because that was one of my favorite Eddie Guerrero matches.
What was that they honored the when they were spinning around? And
the point where basically I believe it was MGF was when they were pinning on the floor, and they were holding hands and the whole.
Yes.
That was
They did that at the Halloween Havoc match.
That was that. I knew that kind of looked familiar.
It was 96. It's when Mysterio was wearing this one full suit, pink, purple, alienish one.
Yeah, with the question marks on it, right?
With the question marks.
Yeah. Now that you talk about it, I remember. But now that we're talking about that, there was many mentions of Eddie Guerrero and spots honoring him last night. I didn't know that. Minneapolis was where he passed away.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that's what they were mentioning.
So they did
it. That's why they were doing all that.
It was the anniversary of his death and the city where he passed away.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, snap! Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I knew the date, but I didn't know it was there.
So I really love Eddie Guerrero, and I love that they honored him. But maybe Penta shouldn't have tried to do that Three Amigos because that was horrible. When he tried to do the right after what's his face, I think it was Dax. Did the Three Amigos? He blocked it,
and he's like, no.
Yeah, exactly. And then he did it, and then he was trying to do it. when he does the suplex and then he moves his legs around to get up, and he was like so badly done that it was just funny to see him try to redo that and wasn't able at all. it was kind of funny, but
Snap. Okay.
but respect to what they did, and apparently Vicky Guerrero was really grateful at the end.
That's
She
what
went
I
to
think.
talk
That
to
must have
Tony
been a
Khan,
really
and
hard day. Those must have been really hard
of
days for
course.
Vicky.
Yeah.
And to be out in front of everyone.
yeah, knowing all that, yeah. So props for them to doing that, and he Tony Khan has does this a lot, and I think his employees, the wrestlers, appreciate that a lot. Is that he honors the people from the past, and he does these things very well, and people respect that, and people are grateful for it.
Well, that's it. You had the Claw guy there, who was an old school wrestler. I don't remember his name.
Yeah. What is his name? I don't
The
remember
Claw!
his
The Claw!
name. Yeah. Bro, sometimes it looked like he was gonna get sick when he was doing.
No, that's it. I'm like, bro, you all right? What's good?
I think he was forcing a bit too much, but
Yeah.
But
yeah, I like the way they involved him in one of those matches there. It was okay,
cool.
you know. Yeah, it was okay. They seem to do even the details. They seem to do them right. So we're able to appreciate that part of how they
yeah.
guaranteed.
And Khan was,
what-
by the way, very happy. So, guys, if you guys felt overwhelmed, get ready because this is what he's going to do going forward.
Well, I
It's
told my
always gonna
wife,
be
next
like
pay-per-view, I'm
4
taking
hour-
a nap. I'm taking a nap before.
Meaning 4-hour pay-per-views. That's what he's.
Yeah,
okay.
they apparently liked it. He liked the setting. He got everything off. Apparently, there's a lot of people who gave great reviews from it. I mean, great pay-per-view is nothing to do with the pay-per-view.
No,
Yeah.
it was a good pay-per-view, but nap.
I don't know. Maybe just I don't know.
Maybe start at 7 instead of 8.
Or 6:30.
I mean, that would mess me up. That would mess me up though.
Oh,
I
yeah,
work
because of work. Yeah, it's true.
because of work, so that messes
That's
me
not
up
good because
completely.
it just works.
Tony Khan's
I
gonna
mean-
call Justin. Is it okay? I got a
Don't
pay
do
No,
it.
it's
Just
okay.
work.
You don't work yet? I'm like, Tony, I just hung up the phone. Now you could start it live. Let's go. You know, like, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Off-duty.
No, because look, at this rate, it might sound really bad or whatever. But I think Fight has a replay, right? You can actually watch it if you order
Yes. Thank God.
it. Thank God. So
Because
that's what I was wondering too. And I'm like, man, I hope Fight has a freaking
Yes.
replay because
Yes.
I'm-
There's
I
a
can't-
section. There's a part that says when you watch an hour later. So when I stopped it, I put later, and it kept it for me.
but are you able to like
Wow.
go and watch it again now, for instance?
Oh, that I do not know.
Fair enough.
I watched the day after because
Yeah.
I was on.
But see, now that's what's interesting to me. Because what if I go and watch the whole pay-per-view
Mhm.
and I just want to watch a replay of it?
You can fast forward.
No. But I mean, like, am I going to be able to go on the next day and actually watch it again? I'm
Yeah.
wondering if Fight gives you replays or not. Because it could just easily be, hey, you're watching it live. That's it. If you say watch it later, that's different. Because then it's going to start off from there and you can watch it.
But
Kind of thing.
I pressed watch it later, but it gave me all the way from the beginning,
Oh, snap.
Oh,
Okay.
so
So
then-
maybe there
so
is
then
a
all the way
replay
to the buy-in, and I just fast
Oh.
forward.
Okay, so then it is
Snap.
possible.
Okay,
then.
good. Thank you. I was gonna say, at this point, if I'm gonna pay for Fight, if I'm gonna pay to watch it on Fight, I'm not gonna
For
pay.
the money I spend, I hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight up.
Because back in the day, remember when we were younger, to get a pay-per-view, they used to replay it right away after the pay-per-view. And then after they would replay it on Tuesday. But on the Tuesday, you would have to buy it again. So that was back in the day of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, but back in those days, I had a cassette in my cassette player, and I pressed
Yeah,
record,
that's-
baby. I
that
had
was
it
done.
on replay whenever I wanted.
That was done. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That
was
that's
the good old
true.
days. But yeah, I mean, look, I feel bad for almost being kind of negative in that regard. It's just it really did like tire me out completely. I tried to watch a little bit. I tried showing like my mom the next day, My mom randomly fell asleep, and then I was watching. I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm back in it. And then it's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is necessarily. It's great matches, but then maybe they were just too long. I think.
Yeah, it's like anything. After watching 10 hours of wrestling a week, you get to of anything, whether it's a movie, even if it's a great movie. Godfather is a more than 3 hour long movie, and sometimes I find it long. It's to be in the same place, to be in the same place, sitting down watching something for 3 or 4 hours is a long period.
We have to watch it together in case someone falls asleep. We smack that other person.
Because
wake up.
But,
oh yeah, definitely be me. I'll be the first one out.
But at least it's not like, I've seen in the past with the pre-show. I remember WrestleMania being like 7 hours long. So
that's why it's 2 days.
But here's the thing with something like WWE, for instance, because the problem was they didn't have any piss breaks. AEW, they didn't really have an intermission of a match. They had no vignettes. So we can go and randomly do stuff.
Technically, they did.
Well, I know, but it was too quick. It was like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
With that backstage.
That's the thing. So WWE at least has a ton of shit matches where I can go for piss breaks, or I can go get something, or I can, I don't know, take a walk, stretch my legs, kind of thing, So, yeah. It's not a negative thing. It's just because every match was pretty much just on point, and I was excited for. I just couldn't do anything. I had to stare at the screen all the time. I was like, okay, and then, But what was your kind of match of the night? What was your go-to? I know it's hard, but what was your?
Let me check over here my strict. Stars segment.
Yes, it cost us 5 stars.
I'll definitely have Alan with MJF. Yeah. I put that 4 out of 5 stars. The trios match I also put 4 out of 5 stars, and the main event I put 4.5 stars.
I can agree with that.
Match.
Yeah, with Super Click. Yeah.
Yeah, Super Click. Yeah.
That's the only one there was. I don't know what pay-per-view you watched.
I would put the trios match first because there's only one negative thing about the Allen MJF match is at some points it looked too rehearsed, too choreographed. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes that's the feeling I got. So that's why if I had to pick one, I would go with the trios match.
I didn't like the finish of the Derby.
Yeah, it was a protected finish. We knew whoever was going to win wasn't going to be a clean finish.
And I think that's perfect for MJF.
But wouldn't it be more powerful if MJF won fair?
Why? MJF is a heel. That's what he does.
Yes, but then
he's wrestling great now. But
he can actually say that he is
I think what they're looking for is the heat with MJF. I think that's what they're
going his character.
I think MJF can take a lot of heat, man.
I know you could, but I'm just saying, if you wanted a fair square fight,
But I think they might leave that. Guys, don't forget that this eventually, and not too far down the line, this match is probably going to headline a pay-per-view not too far down the line.
True.
MJF Darby Allin. So I think maybe they'll leave a clean finish for when it's more of a main event match. But that's the only thing. I think that these guys have been the trios match. These guys have worked together so many times that it just flows very well, very very well. So that's why I would pick them over Darby, but nothing away from that first match because that first match definitely set the pace for the rest of the pay-per-view.
Besides the matches, are you guys excited about the Jay Lethal? Wow, crickets.
Listen, I mean, I remember Jay Lethal. I remember Jay Lethal back in the day. Impact. He was great. I am excited for him versus Sammy Guevara when I saw him there, though, I was like, okay, cool. It's just, to me, it's not a big surprise. Like, I do feel he's a tad past his prime. I do feel that way.
How's
But-
that his prime?
What do you mean, bro? Impact was his prime, technically. ROH, the only reason why he was so crazy in ROH is because he was practically one of the only guys that was there. It was like him out of like 10 people.
He's
So
still
that's
young.
why not that young.
He's 36.
Yeah, not that young.
I'm old. We're old, Costa.
Yeah, but
Well, you guys aren't wrestlers taking bumps every day, though.
I understand. I think I understand what JLB is saying. It's not that he could still physically.
You still go, yeah.
He could still go in his prime physically, but I think in notoriety, I think those years passed in obscurity in ROH diminished his notoriety that he had coming out of TNA. Because TNA, he was a big or Impact, whatever. He was a big hit, especially everybody knows the Macho Man imitations, and especially the Flair, the Flair back and forth promo segment. So everybody knows that. And then maybe those years spent in ROH, seen by less people, but he lost a bit of his luster. I'm excited. Well, listen, I don't think it's a game changer. Okay, but I'm definitely excited to see some matches against some specific opponents, and I won't lie, I popped when he used that Flair voice and he goes Shabani. So and he said he always wanted to do that. So I'm interested in seeing some of those things, maybe promos like that, some imitations. But is it gonna bring more new viewers to AEW? I don't think so.
No. Okay.
No,
it's not gonna bring more viewers, but I'm excited. Okay, I like Lethal. That's all I wanted to bring.
I think he's entertaining. Definitely,
I'm excited to too. He's gonna put on some good matches. I want to see him and Leo. I want to see him and Dante. I'm excited for him and Sammy. Even him and Darby might be fun. You know, he's definitely a great wrestler. It's nothing to do with that. It's just, yeah, I don't know. He's no Adam Cole or Bryan to me. You know what I mean? He's not going to give me that super.
It's like when you see that they signed Jay Lethal. Okay, now we don't know what's happening behind the stage. Maybe they did offer a contract to Buddy Murphy, but I think Buddy Murphy would have been a much bigger asset to AEW than Jay Lethal.
Hey, didn't Buddy Murphy already do his thing at NJPW? How is that?
Yeah, he did it. I think he did it in Strong.
Yeah, it was on like the 11th. No.
Yeah, I think that's when he faced Okada, right? Yeah, I think that's if I remember correctly, I think it was him against Okada, and I think it was this past week.
I just hope to see the Briscoe brothers.
Well, they're going to be at GCW. I don't know if they're going to come to AEW. I think Tony Khan might want to stay away from them because of past history.
There's a lot of history there with a lot of tag teams already. So
definitely, and I love the Briscoes. I would be up for it. I just don't know if Tony Khan wants to take that risk.
Yeah, they have like a lot of PR bullshit. No, like
well, they're farmers.
They're what?
They're chicken farmers. They don't give a shit.
They're rednecks, definitely rednecks.
They're definitely rednecks, absolutely. Yeah, that's
so.
Sure.
And they have some past Twitter history that maybe some people would frown upon. So I don't know. Maybe Tony Khan talks
He's
to them.
He's not going to take that risk.
No, I don't see it coming. He doesn't need to.
He doesn't,
and I don't see him wanting to either.
He has enough tag teams, trios to help him out or whatever. Doesn't need to. He'll bring some of his AEW guys down for maybe to help GCW if anything, but he won't. There's no point.
What you guys think about the tag team championship match? FTR against Lucha Bros.
Yeah, no, a great match. Wasn't as good as like Lucha and Young Bucks in that cage there, but it was a really fun match. I do feel like I liked the first one better.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the finish that ruined it for me, but I definitely liked the first bout better. Yeah.
I think it was the finish, like Costa said, that made me go.
I didn't like the finish, and I think that's why I gave them 3.5 stars instead of 4.
I'm sorry, Meltzer. I'm sorry.
But
did he come out with stuff yet? we're only gonna get that tomorrow, I think, right? With
I
the
think it's
Observer?
I think it's Wednesday. Yeah.
But that finish seemed like out of place because even after the bell rang,
Because there was
Those-
no reason for them to put on the masks, to go underneath the ring and find the match, put them on. I don't know. I found that a bit weird. And I also think that sometimes Lucha Bros looks like they're waiting for the spot. Sometimes they're in the ring and they just did a move and like you're waiting for the next move. So you're not moving or something.
Yeah, I did notice that. Yeah.
It happens. It happens with them a lot. They need to find more of a fluidity. I understand that you don't always fight the Young Bucks and are able to have a match with such great talent as the Young Bucks, but FTR are not bad talent, and I think they need to Lucha Bros need to find a better fluidity to their from spot to spot at least.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well said. Well said.
But hey, Lucha Bros, FTR. Did you guys expect Lucha Bros to keep the titles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to continue this.
The
I
FTR
think so.
Lucha?
Yeah, I think
FTR
so too.
Lucha. I don't think it's going to go anywhere yet necessarily. So I said, I mean, anything could have happened. I would have been fine, I guess, either way, because I think FTR is phenomenal, phenomenal team. So, but yeah, it felt like Lucha. I going in though, I still thought Lucha was still going to keep it. So.
Yeah, me too. Especially knowing that they have a match coming up at Triple Mania and Triple A for the Triple A titles. So this storyline is definitely gonna go through, and knowing them and what type of match they can put through. Maybe they just wanted to hold back a bit and not give everything they had to offer in this match. So that's why I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But FTR is money, man. That's old school tag team wrestling, man.
Yeah.
It's great to watch. Great to watch.
They're always phenomenal. They seem like they're going to be boring, like outside of the ring. Like I'm not maybe a huge fan of their outside stuff. But once they get into that ring, man, pure skill.
I love
pure masterpiece. It's just, they're so good in the ring.
Yeah.
Like they're amazing.
Mm-hmm. And that Midnight Express and coming out to Midnight Express theme song, I think puts the cherry on the sundae for them, for their gimmick, for their characters. I think it's just perfect for the style that they wrestle. I think it works well. Yeah, it works very well.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that was strong. Britt Baker, Ty Conti.
I was surprised of this match. I was expecting much less than what I got.
Well,
I was impressed with Ty Conti. That's
what I meant. Yeah.
Go ahead, Justin.
I don't know. Again, I think I just have to rewatch the pay-per-view because the same sort of ordeal. Like when I did my when we did our like at the end review when I did it with Raw and Order, I was telling them that I thought maybe this was the worst match out of the pay-per-view. And everyone was like, "What are you, crazy?" Da, 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 da. And a lot of people were putting it at like third top or fourth top kind of thing. And I'm just like, okay. But then I ended up changing my mind. I'm like, okay, you're right. Maybe Inner Circle was technically the worst match, so I put that under there. But yeah, I was really impressed with Tay Conti. It's just maybe because I knew Britt Baker was going to win, and the fact that they didn't really build this match kind of just, it didn't interest me either. Maybe was the whole issue as well with me. Mixed with the already overwhelmed through everything else when I was already overwhelmed from the previous match. It could have been a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, a bit of column C sort of ordeal meshed into one. But yeah, Tay Conti, I don't know where her friend was technically, but sure. Let's not help Tay Conti out. It's Anna Jay, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, Anna Jay's her friend, exactly. Yeah.
Nowhere to be seen. Just, hey, we're best friends. Never going to show up, though. You don't need my help. Like, what? Didn't make any sense. Unless they were going to build a feud with that. Maybe that's the next thing that's going to happen.
You mean Anna Jay against Ty Conti? Yeah, that could be, yeah.
NJ, Ty Conti, like I guess they could build that. Hey, why weren't you out there to help me out? Da-da-da. You weren't there to support me, and blah blah blah, and all that. So, and then I think because Serena Deeb was outside, I think the next thing you're gonna see is Serena Deeb maybe against Britt. I think that's what they're going for there. So,
Ooh.
Yeah, I agreed. I think that's
Should
what
be fun with that.
they're teasing. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that would be two heels.
But because Britt Baker is a heel, but she's like type of that anti-hero.
She's
heel.
like an over, yeah, exactly.
She's a fan favorite heel.
Yes, if you will. It is an oxymoron, but yes. But yes. I agree with everything Justin said about that match. I'm impressed with Ty Conti. I love Britt Baker, but I was a bit disappointed with her in this match. With the performance, I understand she can't always put out performances like that Thunder Rosa match. So maybe the bar is set a bit high for her. But everything else that Justin said, I agree with on that match. I think it was probably for me the second worst match of the night after Inner Circle. But not that it was a bad match. I want to reiterate that.
Well, I blame Dos Santos for that Inner Circle botch. So
I enjoyed the match. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed that much more than the Miro match.
The Inner Circle match?
No, the Brit.
Oh, the Brit.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
That's just me, though?
No, that's fair. But I mean, like, it's subjective, I guess, for sure. At the same time, like, I don't know. I just have to rewatch the pay-per-view again.
Because
I'm getting stuff from everywhere. Oh, but this match was better. And obviously, it's anyone's opinion and everyone's opinion. Yeah. I'm just pissed because I can't necessarily formulate my opinion so much because I was so fucking drained.
The 4 hours and a half.
4 hours and a half. I don't know how I can watch something and then completely forget everything. Like I remember bits and pieces, but I'm just like, man, AEW, give me a break to like recollect my thoughts. You know what I mean?
It's like overwhelmed a bit. Yes.
Oh man, Jesus Christ!
Yeah. Sometimes we have to watch a pay-per-view. That way we wake up, Justin.
That's why I take notes, because if I wouldn't take notes, I would be completely lost because there's so many things happening and so many good things happening that your brain kind of overheats there a bit.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
So, the one that we don't seem to talk a lot about, and I think it was announced actually right before the pay-per-view, was the Andrade and Malachi against Cody and Pac.
Right.
That was kind of just, I found that just put together and just thrown into the mix there.
I think it was Justin that said it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jay. But if it was a triple threat match, we'd be talking about it more.
Oh, without Cody, you mean?
Yeah,
of course.
Definitely.
anything but Cody in that match would have been
definitely. Definitely.
It would be an NXT and the AEW match.
Like I almost think though too at the same time, I think it originally was just supposed to be Cody Rhodes versus Aleister McCall, whatever Black. And then they added Andrade and Pac into the mix because I think they were getting too much heat with Cody Rhodes and Black being on again, and fans really not behind Cody Rhodes. It was better than what I expected that I was going to get out of that match. I was really expecting it to be, I think I remember saying as well, like, I think it could be a fire match just because of the participants we have in there. And then Cody.
Cody?
Yeah. And then, but I don't know, like, I still wasn't expecting much. My animosity towards Cody Rhodes is just so much that I just felt it was going to be a real shit show, and Cody was just going to kind of take over as he tries to usually do.
But what is it?
Pretty decent.
What is it that you don't like about Cody?
It's just his attitude. I guess, is my whole issue. His cockiness, his promos.
I love his promos. His promos are good.
Well, his promos were good. They're not
Were
as good
good.
they're not as good in the last 6 months. No.
They're like fake. I
Yeah.
feel faked. I feel you're trying too hard. When you try too hard, I stop caring and I don't believe you anymore. He's just has this pretty boy prima donna self-victimizing
Yeah.
characteristic trait that is just not.
And it feels like he's entitled to be wrestling royalty. When I don't know, you're not prove yourself, man. Don't live off your father's name. You know, you were doing so good, and then it's like you fell from so high. The promos, what we liked about the promos were from the heart. His promos, whether it was Dustin. Go ahead.
And I think it is a self-confidence issue. Because back in AEW Dynamite, when he said, "My brother is better than I am," did I have a wife that I don't? And although I don't like, I do feel that was coming from the heart. So I feel there's a self-esteem issue there, where again, I don't know if he's just trying to play the victim.
If it's a work, or
some people like to do, just not if it's a work, or I guess if it's a work, if he just likes to play the victim, or if he truly believes in that. Because if he truly believes in that, I could see where he can over try on his promos and stuff like that. And I get it. You have to live. You have to live towards your father's legacy. It's hard to do, but look at Dustin. Dustin doesn't have to, and Dustin's older than you. So if anything, it would have been Dustin that had to technically live off the Dustin legacy, then more so than you.
Definitely.
But I don't know. But again, it's him that's kind of messing that up, because he over tries on his promos to the point where it's like you want to be Dusty, you want to be Flair, you want to be this heartthrob, but you're not getting any of that because you're trying to be too many people in one time.
Just be yourself, man.
Just be yourself.
Yeah, I completely agree, 100%. And if you heard this, I laughed. I wasn't in the best of moods, but yesterday I was listening to the press conference that Tony Khan did after the pay-per-view, and a journalist asked him. He goes, "What do you think about the fans booing Cody?" And TK said, "I compare the fans booing Cody to the fans booing The Rock at WrestleMania 18. And I think sometimes when Tony says stuff like this, that's where I get like, sometimes it's much better just to shut the fuck up. But I think it's
Hogan.
Yeah. He compared people booing The Rock to people booing at WrestleMania 18 against Hogan to people booing Cody in general. Where
you can be so far in so many ways.
First of all, The Rock and Cody at that time are not even comparable in how over they are.
Right.
And two, he was facing
The Rock back then and Cody now is still not comparable.
Yeah. Well, yes, exactly. Yeah. And he was facing fucking Hulk Hogan, fucking immortal fucking Hulk Hogan, right. Where there was a face turn in the middle of a match where the fans just started chanting for Hulk Hogan, and it just happened that way. It wasn't. It wasn't artificial. It was actually. How did the word they use? Anyways, it just happened for real in real time. I think this is people are just fed up with Cody. Either be real or disappear for a while, one or the other. I think that's more that. And I think I laughed when Tony Khan said, so I wanted to mention on the podcast.
Jesus. Yeah, I guess I skipped through that. Oh, I think when they started talking about Cody, I just skipped. I was like, no. I'm done. I don't know, man. Like, I loved his story, starting it off and and then at some point, I don't know. I just lost my way with him. I'm just like, bro, you sound so condescending. Like, you're so full of yourself. I'm done with you. Like, that's it. Like they have to turn him heel, is what I think.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Just get it over with. Turn him heel.
Turn him heel.
Want to be heel. That's the thing.
Well, he's gonna have to be because at this rate, that's what the storyline is. The fans built the storyline for you.
I know. He said it that he's not planning to turn heel. He doesn't want to be heel.
It's the perfect move though, because at the end of the day, the fans would understand why you turned heel. Everyone won against you, no matter what you did, no matter how many times you said you loved them, and and then you just finally get fed up and you turn heel. You're gonna have to, or else you're never gonna get the fans on your side. It's just almost like Roman.
Right. I was gonna say
that's something Tony Khan could have compared, but no, he doesn't. He wants to talk about WrestleMania 18, the biggest fucking moment in WrestleMania history, or one of them.
Exactly. I think that would have been a much fairer comparison to compare Roman Reigns at that point to what Cody's going through now. Would have been much more. I would have actually agreed with that.
Yeah.
So
at least you laughed, good sir. At least he gave you a chuckle. Smiling and laughter is always good in life. So I'm glad you've got to experience that laughter from Tony Khan.
Because in my head, I was just hearing all the AEW fanboys jizzing in their pants after hearing that. But I thought that was funny. I want to absolutely. It's coming to almost an hour of podcast. I want to absolutely talk about the match where I was the most. Maybe it wasn't the best match of the night, but it was a match where I was the most emotionally involved, especially after that promo on Rampage. Was Punk against Eddie Kingston.
Yep.
That promo on Rampage was one of the best promos segments I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
So much so that I actually started to believe, there real heat here. Is there real heat here? So, and that just shows how good of a job both of them did.
That's
oh God, sorry.
The match itself was also very good. I would have preferred a different finish. I would have preferred they give it to Eddie. I understand where they're going with this whole CM Punk thing. So they want to slowly build him up and have him win and build him up to be as strong as he used to be. I understand all this, but I would have preferred Eddie Kingston to come out on top, at least so they would have continued the rivalry, maybe, Yeah,
that backhand that Eddie gave Punk. I thought the match was ending like that. I honestly thought this match is ended.
Bro, it looks stiff, that shot, man.
It looks stiff as fuck.
It's done. He's gone.
So, but didn't they mention that it was actual legit heat, though, between him and Punk?
I've tried to, after that promo, I'll be honest, I looked up, I tried to find stories, dirt sheets of anything of back then, of what they talked about, and I couldn't find nothing.
Okay, but you saw the post-media scrum, right? You saw the post-conference.
Yeah.
So you would have heard when CM Punk and even Daniel Bryan talked about it. And they had mentioned that, listen, I don't know, or one of the two, I don't know if it was Daniel Bryan or CM Punk, but one of them mentioned, hey, Eddie Kingston is a phenomenal worker. He's great. The only problem is he doesn't keep that same attitude outside of the ring. I think it was CM Punk that mentioned, after my match, I'll go to the hotel room and I'll stretch to get better for my next match next week. He's up until 3 a.m. Partying, and what do you know? Hey, look, guess what? Eddie Kingston got injured. He couldn't show up on something the next day in New York or whatever have you.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, we definitely see that. We don't.
Well, there's definitely a little animosity. I think it's more of a, hey, you're a freaking professional now. You're not some kind of thug in some indie show. Like, not to say that indie people aren't professionals, but when you get to
of course,
you get to a level of, hey, we're gonna need you every week. This is a $1 billion company. It's an entirely different story now. Now it's don't fuck around, do your job, take care of your body, and come back next week and do it all over again. That's just what it is.
Yeah, I'm sure there was some real because that's what they use in promos and wrestling. Sometimes you use some real details to make the promo even better. And I think what Justin said is completely fair. I think we can see it. We might not know of what's happening backstage, but we can see how a type of a person Eddie Kingston is. Not to judge his character or anything, but we can see that he's more of a street guy. He's even said it himself. Right. He's a street guy. He has his ears to the streets. He likes to have a few beers. He likes to party with his friends. You see that beer belly going on. So we see that he could, if he would have, how can I say this? If he would have had the work ethic of a Daniel Bryan or of a CM Punk at the beginning of his career, he probably wouldn't have had to wait all this time to become in a big time promotion. I think that's fair.
And I think that's what they were alluding to as well. Like, hey, you could have made it in with us, but instead you were too busy fucking around.
Yeah.
You know, we saw the hard work that you did put in through your matches, but it also wasn't reciprocating through outside of your matches.
Eddie was in Ring of Honor before, or he was somewhere else?
No, I think it was where they wrestled a lot of them together. I think it was PWG. I think it was.
No, but I'm saying before he made it to AEW.
Yeah, it was ROH.
He was in Ring of Honor. Yeah.
I think it was Ring of Honor, but no, I think Ring of Honor was way before. That's Ring of Honor. I think he was there like when CM Punk and Bryan Danielson were there, and Samoa Joe and all that. So like 2004 kind of ordeal.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
So this is why though, right? This is why they're saying what they're saying, because then what happened? CM Punk went big, Samoa Joe went big, Daniel Bryan went big, Kevin Owens. It took more longer, obviously, but Kevin Owens went big. Eddie Kingston, we heard nothing about him until 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely, and during that promo, sometime at the beginning, because we know that Tony Khan has said it before, has confirmed it that there's no scripted promos, right? Usually they give them talk about this, but say whatever you want, whatever. So at the beginning, it looked like Eddie Kingston was really caught CM Punk off guard in that promo, because at the beginning CM Punk is just smiling and nodding, and it took him a bit, like maybe 2-3 minutes into the promo for him to really get involved in the back and forth. So I think that helped create that chemistry, and then I think what ended it perfectly was when Eddie Kingston told him, I just want to beat your ass, make you quit and disappear for 7 years again, and then he gave him that headbutt.
I thought that was so real.
Me too.
I'm like, dude, he must have been really caught off guard with that one. Yeah. I'm like, why do you give a headbutt like that? You know what I mean? Like,
from close, so not much time to protect yourself there. So I think they did a great job in this whole this whole program, getting together, the promo and the go home show, the match itself, the Clemson mask. Was it Clemson or Crimson? Crimson Mask. Clemson, that's a university, but whatever. Crimson mask. The only thing I didn't like was the finish. Like I've explained, I would have preferred Eddie Kingston won so that they can continue this rivalry. It just looks like CM Punk is just going to move on to another rival so he could step on and get more over. I think that's where they're going. But Eddie Kingston's going to have to start winning soon, because now it's a few times in a row. He loses Daniel Bryan, lose against CM Punk, or else he's going to lose not his luster, because he can always put those promos or be the manager or the valet of somebody and still be on top. But if you want to use him as a wrestler, I think he needs to win some matches very soon.
Yeah, exactly. I almost don't even think that him and CM Punk is over necessarily. I think maybe not right away they're going to continue it again, but I think they're going to slowly come back to it.
I definitely wish they do.
Yeah, and maybe when KO comes in or whatever, or
if he comes in, we don't know
if he comes in, or whatever, because KO would have known the ROH days too. KO was there at the same time, all that. But yeah, I don't know. And him not shaking CM Punk's hand, I think that's just a little indication that, hey, I'm not finished with you. I don't respect you still. You know what I mean? So we're gonna have to see.
And he said it already that he doesn't respect him, and that everybody's scared. Everybody's scared to tell him that nobody wants him there, but he's going to tell him. So I think there's an open door there for that to continue. I hope it does. I think you could bring more value to CM Punk by continuing this rivalry than just having him move on to another job against another jobber. Well,
Right.
not a jobber, but against somebody else that's going to
Against somebody else. No, that's it. I mean, that's it. Again, CM Punk said at the post media scrum, like, hey, like, you know what? I'm so excited. I'll face any of these guys, sort of ordeal. You know what I mean? But it's up to the boss who wants me to kind of face sort of ordeal. So it's up to TK, technically, obviously. So
Yeah. And like I said at the beginning of this podcast, I'm gonna trust TK's judgment. So
yeah, that's it. He hasn't done any wrong as of yet. So, well, maybe just the women's division he's done completely wrong on. But aside from that, yeah, I thought it was all in all a great pay-per-view, though. Just kind of, just long. Just felt overwhelmed. But all the matches were good. It's just that's it. Like maybe the Inner Circle match went a bit too long for no reason. I did enjoy the MMA fighters on how well they did. I thought that was cool. Aside from DeSantos fucking up that whole spot with Jericho doing the
To be honest
moonsault.
with you, I skipped that match completely.
Yeah. Oh, it was kind of cool. It was all right. I was curious about how the fighters would do. So
I think
did well.
the job they wanted to accomplish with this match, I think, was to bring in new fans, right? New MMA fans, try to get them to watch AEW.
Yeah.
And I for some reason, I have a feeling they missed the boat on that. Because I'm trying to put myself, take the wrestling fan away from myself and just look at it as a MMA fan. And I think I wouldn't have been impressed with that match. Not only what Justin's saying about the botch with Junior DeSantos, but the match itself, they had to make it. If you want to really get those MMA fans, you had to make it more realistic, more that beating or that fight, that street fight
Right.
feel to it. And I think they missed the boat on that.
I think it's just because it's too long. Not too long. There's just too many people.
Yeah,
Maybe they should have made it 3-on-3. Adam Lambert with the two UFC guys versus, I don't know, Jericho and Pride and Powerful kind of thing. But then that would suck because then we wouldn't get to see Sammy Guevara's freaking swanton from the ladder.
Yeah,
which
that was
you missed something amazing there, buddy. You should go rewatch that.
I had a bit of a Jeff Hardy feel there too.
Yeah,
definitely.
And the camera angle. I was talking about that in Raw and Order. The camera angle too was so spot on.
Mhm.
Like, kudos to the camera guy because he made it so that the foot wasn't like 20 feet. It was like 80 feet. He made it look so big.
Yeah.
It was really well done. And kudos to Sammy
At the
Guevara.
beginning, I thought the table was a bit too close to the ladder there. I was scared that he was going to over.
Well, that's why he kind of just.
But he
tilted
just
it.
let himself fall.
He
Yeah.
just let himself fall. He knew what was up. Yeah.
So we definitely appreciate and want to see as much as Sammy Guevara as possible.
For sure. Always a good time. Always entertaining. I think the spots of the night were him doing that and Luchasaurus doing the freaking
shooting star press.
shooting star, and maybe MJF doing the tombstone on the apron.
Yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, oh.
Which was pretty crazy. Or even
even that brainbuster.
The brainbuster as well.
From the top rope. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, yes. That was that was well done. Kudos to that to have confidence in your partner to do that, and
that's 100% trust right there. Man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And even
to do that.
The innovativeness of them putting on that thumbtacks knee pads there, and hitting, pretty cool. To Jungle Boy doing the concerto was also fun, So
yeah, I think overall in all, very, very, very content with the pay-per-view we got. I think overall I'll give it an 8.5 on 10.
Ah, man.
Very content. It sounds like I was expecting a 6 there. I don't. It might be a language barrier thing, but saying very content.
I give it an 8.
Well, yes, you're right.
But content almost sounds like it's less Like,
Yeah,
oh, this
because
is
content
nice.
makes it seem like it's the bare minimum.
Yeah,
But no, I mean more content where I'm more happy. I was happy with the
Okay.
with the pay-per-view.
no, I know, but it's still yeah. I mean, I think that's fair. 8.5, 9, 8.5, 9 out of 10.
So this Thursday we're gonna talk about Survivor Series.
Oh snap! It's true, huh?
We have
Yeah.
Survivor Series this weekend. Yeah. So
You should be very content then.
if Raw is any indication, then we're gonna have a long ass pay-per-view.
Yeah, not in a good way. AEW
Yeah, exactly.
was long
Yeah,
and
exactly.
in a
It's like
phenomenal
4 hours this
factor.
one either, isn't it?
But I think so. Since it's one of the main four, I think it's like 4 hours. Yeah.
I think it's like 4 hours. Oh Jesus! I'm
Um,
ready, honey.
Before JBL brings us home, do we have any news about Bray?
What I heard this past week, well, Tony Khan said that he hasn't spoken to Bray since they saw each other 2 years ago at a party or something. But from what I heard is that he's filming a movie right now, Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
So that's why we haven't seen him nowhere, because his 90-day clause is over.
Mhm.
So I guess, and he could take his time
Exactly.
because he could choose where he goes. Whoever gives him, I think it's not a question of money for him. I think it's actually a question of freedom for him and what he's going to be allowed to do. And he could take his time because he's just
Right.
that important of a star, and
Yeah.
he's filming a movie now, so he could take all the time in the world.
That's it, exactly. He's brave freaking Wyatt. Let his creative juices flow. Poor guy was ridiculed for the last 5 years to do anything with his creativity. So let him do his thing. Every company's still going to want him no matter what. So, yeah, we'll definitely let you guys know more about that, the movie. I guess I have no idea what it's about. But we'll definitely let you know then. And we'll also let you know what we think on Thursday at 7 o'clock. As, of course, we alluded to that we are going to be previewing Survivor Series, Raw versus SmackDown. You know the deal. We shall see what happens. What do we think is going to be the best match of the night? What's going to be the snore fest of the night? We'll all let you know on Thursday. Hint, hint, there might be a few of them. We'll let you know then, though, on behalf of Big Red, on behalf of Kid Crazy, I am also JLB. This is your Full Gear Recap. WT Nation, we will see you on Thursday. And until then, ciao for now.
Peace out.